All right. Welcome everybody to our abs and core class. I'm your instructor Quinn here with Exos at Autodesk. So today we're going to get started. Usual routine, a little bit of a warm up, 2 circuits, and heading into a stretch cool down with a little bit of mobility thrown in there. Okay, so we are going to start things off with a set of knee hugs. So we're just going to bend forward, grab the shin, and pull up as we bring that knee to the chest. Getting a nice stretch through the hips. Alternating each side. Getting a little bit of a working pace here. Trying not to hold the stretch for too long. Just starting to warm the body up. Get those hips nice and loose. All right, now that we've gone through here, we're going to do our hamstring sweeps. So working again into the back of the leg there. We're just going to bring one foot forward, pointing the toes up, reaching the hands behind the hips, and sweeping down through the legs. Getting a nice long stretch all the way through the hips and the back of the leg. And switch sides. Trying to keep those hips tucked underneath us, keeping that back as straight as we can as we lower the chest down. Last one. And done. Good. Next up, we're going to get down onto our mat here and do our cat cow. So we're going to get our hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, and we're just going to drop the belly and the spine down and then pull the spine up towards the ceiling, moving back and forth. Just going gently back and through. Back and forth. Good. Next up, we're going to get our shoulders and hips level. Nice flat spine as we bring the hand up and around. We got our big arm circles through the quad position. We're just reaching back and around. I call these quad arm reaches. Getting nice big circles, opening up the chest, getting a little bit of rotation through the spine. And let's go the other direction. So reaching back towards the hip. And good. Next up, we're just going to do a little bit of down dog and upward dog. So popping the knees up, we're going to push the hips back, pushing the heels into the ground, and driving down, opening up, and extending all the way. And pushing back, getting our hips up into the air, and lowering the hips back down. Getting a nice arch through the back. We'll go one more time down. And good. All right. Now we're going to get into our twisting plank knee to elbow. So we're going to pop our knees up, Actually, we're gonna get our forearms down to the ground here, and we're gonna drive our knee to our elbow, giving a little twist as we move through, tapping that opposite knee to elbow. Getting some real good work in here. And rest. Good. Next up, we have our plank extensions. So this time, we're going to try and do our opposite hand and foot at the same time. So we're going to bring the feet back, get the knees up, and extend out hand and foot, just like we would in our bird dogs. Oh, the carpet here is really messing me up. Opposite hand and foot, alternating each side. Pushing the ground away with the shoulders and the hands, and rest. Okay. Next up, we're going to go into what's called a beast pose. I'm going to adjust my mat here a little bit, get a little bit more even ground. All right, so we're into our beast pose now. We're going to be on our hands and knees. You're going to curl your toes underneath the foot, and you're just going to lift the knees up off the ground about 2 to 3 inches, holding nice and flat, trying to get those knees in front of the hips and heels behind the toes, keeping those shoulders directly above the hands. And we're just going to hold this with our knees just barely off the ground, making sure our hips are as level as we can with the shoulders, nice flat back, and rest. All right. And from here, we're going to go into our bird dogs. Okay, so we're going to extend out, opposite hand and foot, extending all the way through the fingertips to the toes, nice and flat, and alternating sides. Getting a nice, even working pace. We got one more each side. And done. Good. Next up, we're going to do our plank. So let's get our forearms down to the ground. We're going to extend the feet back to bring the knees up, pushing the ground away. We got a 30-second plank up in the air. Timer's on. Sucking the belly button up to the spine, keeping the shoulder and hips level with each other. Nice flat back. Not sticking that butt too far up in the air like I just was, but staying nice and tight, keeping everything compact through the core. Got a few more seconds here. We're going back up to the top. And rest. Good. All right. So we're going back up to that twisting knee to elbow with our plank. So getting the forearms back down, feet coming back, staying in that plank position. We're going to twist knee to elbow, giving a little crunch through the middle there. A little bit of a rotation through the hips here, but still trying to keep everything nice and level. Got a few more. And done. Good. Next up, we've got our plank extensions. Hopefully this time with my adjusted mat, I won't be slipping, moving all over the place. Okay, so we're gonna get our hands directly below the shoulders, feet come back, and we're going opposite hand and foot out, switching sides, holding for about 2 to 3 seconds, and alternating through. Let's go one more each side. And done. Good. Now we're going to be into our beast pose. So we're going to get our hands directly below the shoulders, knees in front of the hips, tuck the toes under, and we're popping up. Timer's on. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Trying to keep everything nice and compact through our trunk. Pushing the ground away with the shoulders. About 10 more seconds. And rest. Good. Now staying in this hands and knees position, we're going to move into our bird dogs. So extending the hand and foot out, opposite hand out, bouncing up at the top, and switching sides. I'm really starting to feel that shoulder burn from all of these planks and quadruped poses. Don't worry. Next one, we're going to be all on our back. Keep up the good work, guys. About halfway there. We got one more each side. And done. Okay, last exercise for this circuit. We're just going to get into our 30-second plank. So, extending the feet out, pressing the ground away, bringing the knees up, and timer's on. And we're holding for 30 seconds. Sucking that belly button up towards the spine, pressing the ground away. Got about 10 more seconds here. Keeping those shoulders and hips level, back nice and flat. And relax. Good. All right. So as I said, we're going to be flipping over onto our back here for the next circuit, 50% of the way through. So let's lay down. Extending the legs out. We're going to do a set of leg raises here for about 30 seconds. So you can get your hands underneath the hips, get a little bit more leverage. And we're going to bring the feet straight up, using the abs sitting right in front of our hips, moving through the pelvis, keeping that lower back flat on the ground, pulling the spine into our mat. Nice, even working pace. Got 3 more here. And done. Good. Next up, we're going to stay down, and we've got our knee tucks, okay? So pretty similar to leg raises. We're going to be in a very similar position. You're just bringing the knee to the chest instead of the feet up above the hips. So we're going to bring the knee straight up and extend the feet out, keeping the heels off the ground. Working on the hip flexors a little bit and those obliques, those nice V muscles of our abs, the V lines. Getting a nice even pace, not too fast, where you're out of control, but not too slow, where you're not able to feel it. Try and keep those heels up off the ground as much as you can. One more. And done. Good. Next up, we've got our flutter kicks. So staying in this laying down position, hands underneath the hips. And once again, extend the legs out, and we're kicking up and down, nice and quick, short kicks. Going nice and fast. Working on those lower abdominal muscles. Should be feeling this right in your hip and pelvis. A few more seconds. And done. Good. Next up, we have our heel taps. So we're going to have our knees bent. We're going to get our hands out from underneath the hips, and we're going to lay them right on the outside of them. Now from here, we're going to twist our trunk to reach forward and touch our heel with our fingertips and move side to side, keeping the head and shoulders back, working into the obliques and side of the torso. Keep it up, a few more seconds. Nice job, keep working hard. About 75% through our workout here. And down. All right, last one of this circuit is a short 15-second side plank on either side, okay? So we're gonna get our elbow below the shoulder here, and we're popping the hips up as we extend the feet out. Remember here with the side planks, if you need, you can always spread the feet out, a little bit more stability, or drop the knees down. So you're learning how to use those obliques to support the hips. Go ahead and switch sides. Let's go, got a few more seconds here. And down, good. All right, now staying into that same circuit, got one more time through, getting flat onto our back, hips, hands underneath the hips. We have our leg raises. So knees straight, legs extended, bringing the heels up and toes come up. Getting a nice big sweeping motion with the hips. Keeping that back pulled down to the mat, not letting it come off the ground. And rest. All right, next up, we've got our knee tucks. So We're going to stay in that exact same position, legs extended out, hands underneath the hips. And we're going to bring the knees up to the chest and extend the feet out, keeping our heels up off the ground. Just getting a nice working pace. Tucking the knee up towards the chest and extending the legs out. Two more. And done. Nice job. All right, staying in the same position. We've got our flutter kicks. So go ahead and extend those legs back out, heels off the ground, and we're kicking nice and quick, up and down, nice and fast. Making sure to breathe. Got a few more seconds here. Keep it up. It's really starting to burn. Keep working hard. And rest. Nice job. All right. Bending the knees, getting our feet flat on the ground. We're going to go into our heel taps. Okay. So reaching side to side, getting our fingertips to the heel. Getting a nice, even pace, really pulling through the side of our torso. Going back and forth. And done. Good. Nice job, everybody. Last one. We've got our side plank. All right. So getting our elbow directly below the shoulder. We're going to extend the feet out, raising up the hips and holding up at the top. Getting our hips up, pressing the ground away through the shoulder. And switching sides. Holding up. And down. Very nice job, everybody. We're going to go into our cool down, heading into a little bit of stretching and mobility. So we're going to start things off. Oh, my mat moved a lot there, didn't it? We're going to start things off with just a deep squat. All right. So getting our feet about hip width apart. We're going to drop our hips down and press the knees out with our elbows. Opening up the hips, unlocking some mobility there. If you're having problem getting into this deep squat like this, you can always lean forward and pop up onto the toes a little bit and use your elbows to press the knees out. Unlocking the hips there just a little bit. All right, next up, we're gonna go into the world's greatest stretch. We're gonna lunge 1 foot forward, keeping our knee down. We're gonna drive our front knee out past the toe, and the same hand that's forward as the foot. So my left foot's forward, I'm gonna use my left hand I'm going to reach underneath my right elbow and twist the hand up towards the ceiling, rotating and dropping the hips down towards the mat at the same time. We're going to go 3 times on either side. One more. And pressing out, switching sides. Driving that knee out over the toe. Reaching that hand underneath opposite armpit and twisting up. You can go ahead and pop that knee up if you'd like. A little bit of extra depth through the hips. Got one more. All right. All right. I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like I got muted for I don't know how long, but I hope you guys were able to see everything and didn't have too many questions. But thank you for dropping in. Don't forget to check out our Functional Fitness Friday tomorrow at noon and all my other amazing classes that I teach throughout the week. They're up on our SharePoint schedule. If you guys need to chat about health, fitness, or anything, just take a look at my consult schedule. It's also on our SharePoint as well. And thank you guys so much.